with this new to me, although not new at all, Anastasia of Beverly Hills Riviera palette. I'm kind of in a rush, just trying to get some colors on and see what this palette's gonna do for me. But I want to get out and do some errands before I have to be at work at 6:18 a.m. So we're running this Cabana color, which is such an interesting, sophisticated kind of mustard yellow with a little bit of olive green in it above my natural crease. We have experimented with some new primers and blurring creams and gotten a little bit of texture on our face and on our lids. We used a ColourPop concealer, no filter concealer, and that also created some extra texture, but we're going to rock with it anyway. We're just going to some random stores, so we don't need to look that good. And in my neighborhood, it's actually a good idea not to look too, shall we say, too good. You don't want to look too good. You want to just look like, oh, I'm, not worth bothering with, if you get my meaning, crime wise. So from here, right, if this is our crease color, base color, then what would be the right outer corner color, right? We could go crazy and use this bright pink Bahamas. We could use Con, which is a purple. We could go boring and do a brown. Let's mess with this Bahamas. We're not going anywhere special, but we do want to see what this palette do. So there's a lot of it on this brush. Oh, maybe tap a little bit of it off, but it's great. This palette has a nice mirror. I'm really, loving that these products live up to, the hype that I've heard so long about them. That, said quality, sophisticated color formulations, blendable, all of those good things, and definitely not boring, right? If you walk into dinner with this on your eye, move over Jeffree Star. And it's nice that you don't have to go to, sort of questionable makeup makers in order to get something exciting on your face, right? I think a lot of us go back and forth about whether it's okay to use products from, maybe not the most progressive people. And certainly I picked up some of his brushes for cheap. And, I got Nikita's palette, and, there's been discussions about blackfishing, and, you know, maybe everyone's learned to do better. I'm not sure. Who am I to judge? But I'm really loving the saturation of this pink. I look like I do makeup, I don't know where, maybe for some sort of like concert or something that's just not a dinner party or a deposition. This kind of color would be not just appropriate, but exciting. It looks exciting on my eye. I don't know what you think. Maybe it looks a little crazy, but we're not doing any kind of like graphic liner, but just, sort of looking at how this pink pops against this kind of spicy mustard color. I'm not mad, right? And if that's what we're trying to say here, we're saying pink and we're saying golden mustard yellow brown, then, even put on top of that golden mustard yellow brown and extending our eye up and out, this is not a disappointing pairing, shall we say, right? And if from here we go to our inner corner with some kind of packing brush, not even using particularly great brushes. These are random brushes. This is an e.l.f. actually. It's a professional eyeshadow brush, but just a simple paddle brush. And we're going to paddle one of these shimmers on our inner 2/3. Mediterranean is kind of a blue. Is that crazy? Inheritance is a gold, 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 yellow, yellow, yellow. Is that going to be crazy? Seaside is a gray. Palermo is a pink. Seychelles is a bright blue. I think we're going to go bright blue. Just to see, again, we're not trying to do something purposeful. We're not matching an outfit. We're just trying to see what what this palette do, right? And we're liberating ourselves to stamp, because that is the hooded eye way. All those swirls and circles and all of that might be great for people who don't need the color and shimmer payoff that we need when we have a hooded eye, right? Getting that across the inner 2/3, maybe grabbing a different brush to blend those colors together. They are looking like, you know, some very unblended, shall we say, countries on a map, right? Just the way our friends in Ukraine are trying to defend their border from Russia. Do we live next to each other, right? Do we need Russia inside Ukraine, or should we just have the line between Ukraine and Russia stay exactly where it is? I think the latter. You know, if it's been good enough for this long, I don't really see that Russia is making a compelling case for changing it. You know, add a lash to this, right? Maybe add some more to the temple, but I'm not hating where this is going. Now, looking at it as at a distance, the only thing that's it's sort of obliterating that transition color, that cabana golden mustard yellow, and, you know, kind of making our eye story look very blue, shimmer, and pink. But I mean, the saturation. I don't think I thought people were lying, but I don't know if I own any shadows that quite give. You know, I wasn't unhappy with the Morphe palette from Nikita. I wasn't unhappy with any of the other Morphe palettes. I can see the golden brown peeping out, but it has really been taken over by these much brighter colors. I'm not mad at all. But again, with a lash, maybe with a more saturated lip. This is a cocoa brown liner, and then one of these Milani, I don't know what you call them, lipsticks in this pretty packaging in the color Secret. It's almost a little too subtle for the strength of this eye look. Am I wearing a padded shoulder, you know, electric blue suit? Is this editorial? I don't think it's brunch with the girls, but, you know, I'm excited about, you know, getting into this further. If you want a conservative look, it comes from this palette. If you want more extreme, if you want those lashes that have like feathers and, you know, sparkles on the end, these colors can carry that look. So, you know, the Riviera, I guess people are wearing their strong couture looks and they need something that's just this strong, but I think it's a distinctive color story. I don't know what I expected, but now I know not to expect any less from our friend Anastasia. We are wearing the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector, and we have Turks and Caicos on our cheeks from e.l.f. And our liner, our Cocoa liner, is from Iman. And we're going to stop here because we need to go run errands, and maybe the people at the Target won't think we look too crazy. Hair not done, brows and lashes not done, but again, we were trying to dig into this color story and see what was going on and make our metaphor about, you know, the unfortunate events in Ukraine. It's very heartening to see the people of Ukraine, including their president, fight back despite, you know, what some of our suspicious right-wing pro-Russia leaders in the United States are saying. I think that, you know, most thoughtful people believe in independence and democracy and not in dictators and kleptocracy. We'll leave it there. But yeah, let me get out into the wind. We also experimented today with our NYX Plump Right Back plumping serum and primer, and we are trying to get to the bottom of this Kiehl's Micro Blur Skin Perfector with bark and lentil extract, and it just seems to be a package that does not want to get empty, right? We're trying to empty out and use up our stash. If it doesn't work, we're going to get rid of it But I can't say whether this works or it doesn't. It's just frustrating that there's so much product inside. Let's see if we can open it and see what the story is. There's a lot in there. I don't know. I feel like I'm tired of this product and I want it to empty itself out, but it hasn't. What are your beauty dilemmas, right? I don't like to throw things away unless I know for a fact that just the color is completely wrong or the texture is off. I try to, I try to respect the fact that someone made it. It's not good to waste things, but it isn't completely useful to hold on to everything either. This is a Sonia Kashuk brush, a smudge brush that we got. We haven't used it yet. It's a smudge brush, and it's so clever. It comes with this little, kind of like the way that you would put a cover on your toothbrush, right? And I suppose you can keep this in its little package when you travel with it, but I just thought that was so clever and so specific. We're trying to keep our different products organized and our brushes, and when we use our brushes, we're trying to actually move them out in an orderly way to get them cleaned up, right? So we have a couple of silicone sponges that we need to clean up after today's makeup experiment. And we have our LA Girl Pro Conceal concealers, one in the color Fawn, one in the color Toast, that we're experimenting with for our contouring, right? And these very pale colors we've been experimenting with for our highlight, but the amount of texture that today's products have left on our face, it's sort of not cool. But yeah, just sit with me a moment while I try to get my beauty area organization back together. We did get this lighted mirror and we're shooting ourselves into the mirror. The focus is not quite where we would want it to be, but we're experimenting, right? We're trying to improve things. We're trying to improve our workflow so that we can provide a satisfying beauty experience here on our channel, and kind of like work like a book from left to right in terms of flow of product. We haven't gotten our fake freckle game together quite. I don't know if tonight is a night where we should add this to the very busy mix, but that's coming. There's always like beauty trends and beauty experiments to try. No shortage in that department, and our new wall mirror came with this really nice little hand mirror that is kind of easier to handle than our other three-way mirror. What I like about this mirror is that it folds out into 3 panels so that you really can get a look at your contour and the kind of like lift of the shape of products without just looking at your face straight on and where your eyes can see. That the panels on that mirror can take your eye into places where you can't quite see, is great. It's really great. So we start with pale highlighting concealers, right? And then we end up in the land of lip liners and lip gloss, right? And in the middle, we put our little flower pot of powder bronzers that can reinforce cream contour products, right? We've been trying to recycle some, drink cups from iced coffee at work, but, experimenting also with getting some legitimate acrylic containers and some other kinds of like pink organizing containers for different powders and blushes, and just trying to really get into this as a working space and a workflow, so that we can deliver our beauty experiments in a way that, hopefully will help um, educate and guide other people, right? I'm not saying I'm an expert, I'm saying I'm an enthusiast. And, I do appreciate the fact that when it's time to really deliver a beauty look at work, that I'm able to, ably do something. Because sometimes, honestly, I spend most of the day being law enforcement, and then because of the pandemic and because of the need to kind of play different roles, really, you can't afford to look the same. And makeup is a great way to transform your look. The other night, I was a drug dealer. And so the beauty look became, a kind of Cleopatra black eyeliner. And then I used the same eyeliner to line my lips and put a very saturated matte red inside that liner and kind of married it into the liner, and it just looked very dramatic. And I was really happy when I saw the principal in the scene, who was, sort of, I guess, under arrest. And she was in a very extreme outfit with a very extreme kind of makeup. And, the other day I had done my makeup with a very pale foundation, and then I used a brush that, I think it was something on the brush that made the makeup just look gray. So when I saw her and her makeup base, she was sort of supposed to be goth, and her face was looking gray. I was like, girl, I've been there, right? You want your goth makeup to look more white and sort of bloodless, not gray. And, I was heartened to see that I wasn't the only person who'd gotten into a bad place with gray makeup. But, it didn't not work, but it wasn't that like great creepy punk or goth makeup that I aspire to, which is, more white or more intentional shades of gray for contour. We'll get into that as well. But um I hope you had time for some self-care this weekend, and also for, getting into your makeup stash and seeing what's what, so that you can, you know, get it done. I mean, I have a lot of illuminators that, I've been hearing good things about adding illuminator to the mix of products on your face for a really great base look. Um, and, you know, I'm looking to take it there, but we've got lip stains, we've got lip glosses, we've got butter glosses, we've got other glosses, right? We're not having any shortage of glosses, right? But, whether it's the more pink butter glosses or the more brown butter glosses, and certainly plenty of lipsticks as well, plumping glosses. Ideally, we'd like to know what everything does and pick the very best products and declutter the rest. So, hopefully we can get back to our aggressive schedule. We have lip balms of, producing this content so that we can, be making more informed decisions and, keeping the more efficient products, the products that not just high end, but ones that give us the payoff and the range of looks. Just like you have different shoes, just like you have different outfits, you want to be able to have different looks at your fingertips so that you can get what you need in a fast way, in a knowledgeable way, so that when it's change in 5 minutes without going back to base camp and do your own makeup in the bathroom time, that you're walking in and allowing other people to take credit for your work because they are the head of hair or makeup or wardrobe. It's all a collaborative process. And, my way of saying thank you for the opportunity is always to bring whatever I can to the table, talent wise, performance wise, but also with any bits and pieces that are going to make everyone's very busy life and schedule, more successful, more effective. And, I feel like that's the least I can do because, I'm really, really fortunate to be able to do this work and not, I know how good I have it, and I know that, there's not enough opportunities to go around for everyone who deserves them. So I don't want to waste them, but I don't want to, be ungrateful either. Here's an Aveeno Infusion Drops Max Glow. I haven't tried this either yet. But, getting into our primers, getting into our glosses, getting into our bronzer, always educating ourselves and kind of seeing what's going on in the world of primers and beauty trends. I mean, we've been doing that upward stroke liner for a while. Now we're seeing liners that extend this way, and now for 2022, this kind of twiggy inspired liner that hugs the eye and maybe points down or at least doesn't go up. I had my makeup done like that by a professional artist in December, and it looked amazing in pictures. So there's that. Here's a plumping gloss. Where does this thing belong? Let's put it over here in the lip gloss cup. What's great about these, A, you're recycling, and B, they have a lid so that they, stay clean a little bit better than things that don't have a lid. Like all of these like bins and containers are cute, but they don't necessarily keep your stuff covered. And I end up, because it's very dusty in Southern California, I end up having to cover everything, because then you don't want to hit your makeup station and then everything's covered in a fine layer of dust from keeping the window open. I am a big believer in keeping the window open after all. But yeah, I should wrap things up. I am about to head out to do some errands. So I will see you next time. I hope to have more daylight and be better prepared. I hope that my setup is actually focusing on my face. But, I may have to switch to a camera rather than my poor struggling iPhone with its lack of storage. So, signing off for now. Thank you for spending some time with me learning about the color story in the Anastasia of Beverly Hills Riviera palette. And I will see you in the next one. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.